Hi guys, a very good evening to all of you and welcome to the meet where the super success that you have shown in your respective exams. I hope that your strategies will prove to be a guiding force for the other students who are wanting to score almost on the same line as yours. Let me just introduce guys to the ones who are here with me on the meet. So we have Diksha. Diksha has scored 94 in her tax UK exams for your June 2024 attempt. We have Srijanani who scored 82 in her ATX exam, again for the June 24. We have Harshita who scored 79 in her tax exam, again the same attempt. And one of our missing person, Aditya, he scored 88 in ATX. So these are stupendous, marvelous, wonderful scores that really shows your hard work, people. How are you feeling after achieving these scores? Tell me honestly. All three of you can unmute and just let's have a discussion. How many of you actually expected that you're going to score so high? Huh? Diksha, Shrijanini, Harshita?
Ma'am, honestly, I wasn't expecting such a good score because I had FR and text together, and most of my syllabus I completed in the last phase of my exams. You know it well, how
Yeah.
I just went through it. Most of my syllabus wasn't even completed for the other subjects, and I thought that I should leave this attempt and go for the other one. We had a discussion about it too, but
Yes, I
everything
remember.
just everything just worked out, and really you helped a lot in the last few days. If it wasn't, I wouldn't been completed PR kit too because I was lagging behind too much. Diksha was always a scorer in the class too. So Diksha was expected to score this much. If she wouldn't have scored, I would have been disappointed actually.
No, guys, actually, truly, it is. I had to check twice her score. So I felt, okay, I'm so looking at it wrongly. Is it really 94? It's like,
Yeah, Diksha.
that's great.
Diksha was
No.
really marvelous
Even your
throughout the.
score, Harshita, even I, the way that you were nervous, I was sometimes nervous, but then I was like, no, I'm sure you're going to be pushed and you will do. So it's your hard work also that paid off. So very
But
good.
really, you guided in that last few days were just magic actually. The last few days actually worked out and you guided well. I was able to complete the PR kit. I actually went through study hub too, which I wasn't expected at all. And the questions just came from the study hub. It just clicked, like you said, that study hub questions can just click in the exam. It actually did. And in the exam too, I was sitting there and I just saw the question. I thought, wow, ma'am, you did an amazing job there. You
So
told
I
me.
would like to point out, Harshita, that means you want to say that Study Hub does help you, right, in your preparation. So
Yes.
all the students who are listening, I believe Study Hub is a must to do before exams.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, there was a question in the exam, which when I just came out of the center, every student was discussing about that question, that the question was out of the syllabus or something, that the question wasn't expected to be in there in the exam. But that question, I saw it in the study hub actually. The question was on the rollover relief. It didn't ask for the relief amount actually. It asked for a range of other variable
Hmm.
factors that affect the rollover relief. And I saw that question in the study hub. And I actually sent a screenshot to you, I think. I don't know, I called you or I sent a screenshot to you of that similar question.
Hmm.
And you explained me, and I saw the question in the exam, and I was like, wow, the question is actually here. And when I just came out of the center and other students were discussing, that question was tricky, the question was tough, the question wasn't supposed to be there. And I was like, yeah, study hub actually helps. The question
Oh,
just
that's
clicked from
great.
there.
Yeah, that's it. What's your view on it, Diksha? On your strategy, on your preparation?
I think I have always studied in like earlier. Like I don't study a lot in the last week or 10 days of the exam. I study more before. So that I think in the end day of the exams, I did not practice a lot of questions. I focused more on just going through the syllabus because I personally feel that you solve the questions like during the course, like in the last 10 days, you're supposed to go through the points because the small points you end up forgetting those when you're giving the exams. Study hub again, even I did it in the last 10 days so that it was very fresh in my mind. PNR kit, I think almost every question I did twice or thrice. Mock exams also I did twice or thrice, and especially the questions which I was like doing wrong, I focused more on those.
How many mocks
And
did you attempted,
I think
practiced?
I think there were three mocks in the book, three to four. I did those twice. Then I think there was one mock on the ACCA website, which was according to the
Yes.
2024 syllabus. I did that twice. And also I saw the questions from the previous year attempt, but it was a little difficult to see if I was actually right or not because there was a lot of different
Yes.
stuff, but I did go through the questions just to see what kind of questions are asked. Then obviously you were a major help because like in live sessions we could ask all the doubts like we had right there and then instead of just postponing it and then forgetting it. I feel like if you don't ask your doubts right there and then you forget also,
I agree.
like what doubts you have. So that was a major help. And yeah, like in general, your sessions were very helpful because they were very precise. It wasn't like it was stretched and they weren't fast, they weren't slow. So like the course material was explained also very well. And yeah, like you were a major help. Other
Okay,
than that,
now,
I would, yeah.
okay, I'm sorry cutting you short, but do you suggest two things? I mean, I would come back to you girls also, Shirani and Harshita on it. Many times I find students, they say, let's not study that regularly. The classes have started, or even if they're following recordings, there has to be a pattern. Did you find were you studying an organized pattern that, I suppose if there are two chapters, three chapters done in this week, I'll make sure that I'm covering these three chapters in this week only, rather than postponing it to the next week. My first point this. Second point, the notes. Do you think that notes are an essential part of your studies, whether they are provided by the trainer or they are provided by you? I mean, they are custom made by you. So, do you think that they're essential, or just studying from the book, or just solving questions are enough? So, sorry, one more point I want to add as I forget. Talk to me about the third point as well, that practicing section C questions, especially on your own, does it help really if you are doing, say, out of 10 questions, even 50% of the questions on your own? So just talk to me about these two, 3 points about the live sessions or the regular study, about the notes, about the practicing of questions.
I think regular study I've always done like if you're taking the classes, you need to be in line with the class. Like it's very natural if you're not able to do it for a week or two, but generally like you do try to be in line with the classes. Like I always try that if you're taking two chapters, three
Always
chapters,
observe this.
once the weekend session has ended, I'll like go through the chapters to see the theory. Then I'll do the questions. Then I'll do the theory again. And then if I don't have time to do the questions, I'll at least go through the questions so that I know like what it is. I'm honestly saying I don't study a lot at the end. I don't study during the last 7 to 10 days. I don't solve questions a lot in the end. I focus more on just going through stuff. Section C, I have tried to attempt almost all the questions I could by hand practically. But in the end, you don't have a lot of time to attend Section C because Section C does take time. So you just go through it. And notes, personally, I do go through it, but in the end, I focus more on the book point wise. But notes, I do go through it like during the weekdays and everything, like while the classes are going. But in the end, I try to focus more on the book.
Did you use learning platform also for section C? Constructed workspace to practice?
Yeah, I did because I think it's very important for you to get used to it. Because in the exam, if
Exactly.
you're not used to it, it might take you 2 minutes extra, but then that 2 minutes also helps you a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, now coming over to Srijanani. I believe for Srijanani, it was very challenging because she's a chartered accountant, and having claimed the exemptions and then studying and studying ATX, that's altogether a very massive subject. And then getting the tax basics also there. So it was an equally challenging thing for me as well as a trainer, because I think almost 80% of the students who are there in ATX batch, they are professionally qualified with one or the other subject, with one of the other degree. So almost 70 to 80% are the ones who have no background knowledge of UK tax and they're blank. So in the initial classes, they try to relate to Indian taxes, and finally they start learning of wiping out the Indian taxes. Okay, so then it becomes even more challenging for me to make them first go through basics and then get them used to ATX. So for you, then scoring 82 is marvelous. I mean, so considering it's such a huge subject. I mean, to for all the P level subjects, ATX has got the vast syllabus, the most vast syllabus. So, what's your take on your preparation, Srijani?
I relate more towards Harshita. I prepared all my portions towards the end of the preparation. As you would have known, I have raised all my queries towards the end, towards the last 2-3 weeks of preparation. So I would really thank you, ma'am, because your notes also helped me a lot. So I would try to cover the second point which you asked about notes first. Your notes gave me the crisp summary of everything because I was not able to cover tax as well as ATX portion in that short period. I'm also working, so I had a little time over there. So your notes helped me a lot, especially in the revision phase. And regarding the question practice, I do had mock tests both from PPP materials as well as from the CBE platform, practice platform as well. So I guess I took around 3 mock tests. So I think that would help a lot in preparation because when we are looking at the study material, we think we have understood the concepts, but putting into practice at handling this question at a full-fledged exam perspective is what be helpful. And regarding the phased preparation, I guess I would say I did not do that properly. I got recorded classes of yours, ma'am. So it was at my pace only, even the classes were at my pace. And I was not a regular preparer. So it was towards the last of my few weeks, it was the preparation. But that time I had a great support from you, ma'am, because whenever I raised the query, I got the response immediately, which helped me a lot. Thank you so much from that.
Yeah, no, that's very good. But I would like to highlight that since you're working, and even Diksha, you're working, right? So even Shiranini, when you're working, and most of the students, they many times they tell me or they give me an excuse if I put it straight away, ma'am, I'm working, so I could not join the session. Ma'am, I'm working, so I could not do the homework. My just one point to you: do you think that the homework that were given to you in the classes, actually they were more like a pressure on you? I wanted to put that pressure on you that when you do homework, you know where you stand. My focus is where you stand. Do you think that those homework questions, even when you got recorded sessions, you got those homework questions? So even in ATX, when you were doing those homework questions or that 25 marks question, 50 marks question, when you did those questions on your own, did it give you an insight that how more you have to practice or how more you have to study?
Yes, I completely agree with you, ma'am, because the first time I attempted the homework questions, I really could not solve it completely. So I took 2 or 3 times. Only after that, I got at least 70% of it correct. So that really helped a lot, especially the homework questions, because that gave a sense of how much I've completed until now and how much I'll have to prepare more, apart from the mock papers as such. So
Yeah, and
that helped
Harshada,
a lot.
what about you? What about you? Do you think that mocks practice that you did, okay, it helped you?
Actually, for the homework part, I would say I was the one who never came with the homework done in the class. And you were always there to rebuke me at that point that you should do homework, you should do homework. And I actually realized its importance at the very end leg of the day that I should have done that homework. At least I would have completed the PR kit. And yeah, so I realized that homework was really important because the moment you study, you have the knowledge, and when you practice a question, you know how to apply that knowledge. So that was an essential part which I had to do together at the very end of the day. If I would have done it at start, maybe I would have scored better. So yeah,
Competition of Diksha, then you would have given
yeah,
competition of
maybe,
Diksha.
yeah, maybe. So the homework part was really essential, and the mocks part that you said. Actually, I appeared for the mocks only on CBE platform. As you told that to be familiarized with CBE platform
Did
is
they
really
help you in familiarizing with them in the main exam?
yes, ma'am. Actually, the way the formats were done, we knew how to format how to contemplate our answer, how to present it, and actually it helped to save to so much of time, because when you just represent your answer in the very first time on the CV platform, it really took a long time. In fact, in my very first mock, I wasn't able to complete all of the questions in the stipulated time.
You told me.
Yeah, because to
Okay.
be on the CV platform and to be on the paper pen is a whole different story
Great.
apart. Yeah.
Got it. Agree to it. So, girls, one with this, even I would like to tell you that yes, it's a good thing. It's a privilege that has happened to with us at VGLD that our batches for ATX and taxes have almost had 90% success rate. I mean, that's really good considering the average rate is around for ATX is around in 45, 46, and tax average rate is around 50, 52. So considering that, that's all to your hard work, all of you, all students, hard work put together that has given this result. Now, a quick, just 2 minutes last, I would like to add on. I just want quick 3 tips from all of you to the students that when they're preparing for their exams, what 3 tips you would like to highlight that these are must in your preparation. Okay, in order to ensure that they just don't pass the exam, but they are achieving higher marks. Maybe because some ranks. I'm also obviously I'm expecting some ranks from your all sides. So of course, so how to achieve that rank, how to achieve that high score, what top 3 tips you would like to give? So I would like to start with Diksha. Top 3 tips according to you that you would like to pass on to your peers or to the ones who are going to appear for these exams.
I think first would be to start studying from the very beginning, because if you don't, then it gets very tough for you to understand like a lot of things. Second would be to do the homework questions, like at least practice questions, because one thing, understanding theory is one thing, and then applying it practically is a different thing altogether. Third would be that at the end of the, like when you have 2, 3 weeks left, like really goes through the syllabus so that those minor points do stick in your head.
So revision. So you are saying that
Yeah,
continuous revision is essential,
yeah.
right? And I would just like to add on, I believe that you also want to highlight all of you that rote learning should not be there. Understanding of concepts is also essential, right? Okay. Shijanani, your top 3 tips for ATX students, because it's really got low scoring, low percentage of passing. So having a pass as well as a good percentage is a need.
So first would be study hub. So actually, even I practice questions as well as a few concept clarification I took from study hub. So study hub is a very useful resource. I would suggest to make use of it. Second would be question practice, like what Diksha mentioned. Theory is different and practically applying is completely different. So practice is must. And mock test, attempting mock test is actually important, because doing a question one by one, it might be easier, but having a full-fledged 3 hour, 15 minutes exam is a different thing. So mock test be the third point.
Okay, I would like one more point from you, Shujanini. How did you handle 50 marks question in the exam? That you could do it within time. Doing 50 marks question takes a lot of time. So what, according to you, was the thing that helped you in breaking the question in parts? I mean, how did you do that question in that exam?
My one secret tip is that I didn't start with 50 marks because it would take up so much of time. So I completed my 25 marks and then came. Might be that is a tip which they can use. The second is I broke down all the requirements since it would be as parts. So I considered each one as a separate question and tried to solve it one by one instead of taking it as one 50-mark bulk question. So I guess that helped me in a bit of time management.
Did you break the question in parts? I mean, like we had discussed in the class, breaking the question in parallel solving. Or did you
Yeah,
read the question entirely in one go and then you started solving?
actually, no, ma'am. As you mentioned, I first read the requirements. I jotted down the points which I wanted and then went into the question so that I knew what are the requirements and what is the point I would give for
I'm sure
solving
that
this
must
question.
have saved time for you.
True, true, true. Yeah, that's
Good,
an
good, good.
important point.
Okay. Harshita, from you, any 3 tips that you would like to give to those students?
Ma'am, 3 tips I would give is study, practice, and revise. To study means if you are watching live lectures, please do it live. Don't make a pending backlog like me. Please attend live sessions, because when we attend the live sessions, we have our doubts cleared then and there only. We don't have a backlog of the doubts. Like Diksha mentioned, we tend to forget our doubts when not cleared. So please attend the live sessions if you are watching live. If you are watching recorded sessions, please be organized. It actually helps to complete your syllabus well before the time, and you have ample time to practice and revise. For the practice part, I would say please complete the homework on time, which I never did actually. So please don't be like me. It was some magic
Otherwise,
for
it
me.
puts pressure on you at the end.
Yeah, it puts a irrelevant pressure on you at end. And especially if I'm taking 2 subjects or 3 subjects at a go, trust me, it's not manageable at all. Not at all. And the third would be revision. In the revision, like I would say, don't go if you have practiced ample questions in the kit and study hub. In the revision part, you can actually comfortably go for the mocks on the CB platform. So you don't have to go to kit. You just solve the questions from the mock. You can identify your weak area from the mocks itself and go back to the same chapter and just read the chapters and look through some questions and go again to revision. So to
I think
study
that's a very
and
important point that
revise.
Harshita has highlighted, that you identify your weak areas, okay, and then go back to that concept, read that concept, cover that weak area, and come back to the question. So you
Yes.
would know where you went wrong and how you have corrected yourself. Instead of looking back, most of the students what do? They look at the answer and then they satisfy themselves, oh, I got it how this answer is. But then at the back of the mind, you really don't know how it came because you never put that effort. So
Yeah,
put that
exactly.
effort rather than going directly to that answer.
Yeah, and one last thing I would like to add is to make your own notes. Uh, Obviously, you provided with such a good notes. It was detailed. The points to remember were always clearly there. But to make your own notes is really helpful,
I
because
completely agree.
when you make your own notes, you know what you are putting extra efforts on and what you need to look at the end. You can mark your notes, you can highlight the important points, you can make extra points to remember, that you know that you are facing challenges in and you want to look at the end of the day. So please make your own notes. Some people say that text notes are not required, you can simply read from the book or the kit or the mocks, but I would say please make your own notes. That was the only lifesaver for me, that I made my own notes, else I would have not been able to complete my syllabus to appear for the exam, to be frank. Notes is really important.
Wonderful. Yeah, even I would like to support it. It's really important. Either you can, like, I provided notes. So either you can add on to the notes or you make your notes, but notes are essential for your studies. So I believe that today's interactive session is a true guide for all those who are wanting to get some ranks and really high scores in the exams. And to all of you, just like you have excelled in your tax and ATX, I really wish you all the best for all the upcoming and the forthcoming exams, that you wish even more higher scores and be an affiliate soon. So thank you guys for joining the session and taking your time, and good luck.
Thank you, ma'am.
Most welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you guys. Bye bye.